Welcome everybody. Not Just Music Podcast. In the building again. How's
Yes, sir.
everything?
Everything great.
All
Great.
right.
How you doing, bro?
Good. Right to it. So today's situation I want to bring up. It ain't even a
Uh-huh.
situation, it's a topic situation. This is definitely gonna be Black history, but in a sense, Black history mixed in with a little bit of what's going on now.
Mm-hmm.
This person I want to bring up, his name is Thomas Boddie, is his name. Thomas Boddie is responsible for, Louise and Thomas Boddie are responsible for the Boddie Recording Company. It was established in the 1950s in Cleveland, Ohio, and is recognized as pioneering Black-owned and operated independent recording studio. Thomas Boddie built the studio in his home using custom-built equipment to record local gospel, soul, and R&B artists, often serving as a crucial outlet for artists overlooked by major labels. And again, this was the time periods of the 1950s, and it actually operated from 1950s all the way up into the 90s. So, the reason why I'm bringing this up, I love to enter into a studio that is, how can I say? It's like I've been into a lot of different studios. Let's start there. I've been to a lot of different studios. Studios in churches, studios in houses and warehouses and abandoned buildings and beautiful buildings. You know, I've seen a lot of them. But none of them tops a studio where it's personalized and individualized to a person. Every person I know, I mean, it could be a small studio in a house. It don't even have to be nothing major. It could just be in a corner of a room. Just because of the uniqueness of somebody's own independent sound is something that is overlooked, commonly due to, like they said, you know, a lot of, top record companies will overlook the records he had because of, due to the name. But let's the reason why I'm saying that is what is namesake. Namesake can only go but so far when it comes to a company or a brand, but it can go a lot further when it's independently driven. I think sometimes, so like for example, when you met me, it was on an independent level. You're independent, I'm independent. It's not like you're tied to, you weren't tied to the Baby ENT. You weren't tied to Interscope. You weren't tied to anything that was major. It was just independent, an independent feeling.
Never.
So how differently? Because I mean, you've done it a few times. You've dealt with uh some independent situations, more independent than anything. How does it
Pretty much
feel?
independent my whole life. Independent my whole life. Yeah.
So how does it? And it ain't even the case of saying just for the nature of working with people that are independent as well. How does that feel to you?
It feels normal. Like I've stated, like just doing it you're by yourself. You know, uh your own resources. The first studio that I was in a garage. It was outside, matter of fact. And I remember, like, if it was hot, we be sweating out there in the studio. The studio was set up in the open garage or whatever, like a
Mm-hmm.
pull-in garage. And if it was cold, we was freezing. He had that kerosene stove on in there.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the memories I remember, like, and then I met you and it got more a little advanced. Yours was in a house and nice area, and you know what I'm saying? So I say that to say I've dealt with the I ain't gonna say bad, but the harsh studio uh reality, and I've dealt with the glamorous side, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's really about how you use it. It's really not about the studio, it's about what you bring, the quality music that you recording. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I think a lot of hit songs are made in the harsh studios, the quote unquote hole in the wall
Mm-hmm.
studios, the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
bathrooms. So yeah.
So, you know, this is I had a question for, individual one time when I first started recording. This was quote unquote 20 years ago. That's deep to say that now, but 20 years ago. And the detail that he gave me was, he was like, this is one thing I want you to take with you when being on this path of being an independent recording artist. He said, always create your own sound, right? Never in a million years would I understand somebody saying create your own sound. Now, there are some things of what we consider professional levels of things when it comes to sound. You know, there are definite things that are there that have to be there. But as far as creating your own sound comes with a lot of baggage. So if a person tells you, man, you need to understand you got to create your own sound. When I say baggage, I mean the parts where you are being you. Some people, it's hard for people to be them when it comes to studio. And I'm gonna be open about a studio situation, meaning you can only go off of what you're seeing and what you're hearing. That's your learning process. Yes. But that also is the baggage. It's hard to drop off a habit that you create in a studio when you get in and come into a studio. Now, some people have a very, you know, deep method to studio. It's a lot of people that have some deep methods, and there's nothing wrong with the deep methods. There's also some methods where people know how to crank out records, meaning, and this is what I mean in saying there's no difference in one to the next, honestly. But if this person came in and said, look, I want to do 3 songs today, right? And say they end up cranking out 6 songs. That's not saying, oh, this person is putting in work, but there's a thing that is in certain studio sessions between people where a session can either go fast or it can go slow, or it could just be to a point where it just is at a standstill. But in a sense of saying, the objective is to get music done. Now, my method, this is now I'm starting to give the opinion part of this, and I'm gonna let you give your opinion on it too. And actually, I'm gonna let you give it first because your method is very different. Um, I've never, no, I ain't gonna say I've never. I've worked with some individuals where they can complete a song and it seems as there's not a lot of mess ups or anything to that nature. Just there was a strategized moment to get in to make it what it is and get out the studio, right? Tell me your method, because we've said it before, but I want to
Mm-hmm.
bring light to it from 2 different ways of studioing. So when you
Okay.
come to the studio, give me your method. When
Mm-hmm.
you get to the studio, what is
Yeah.
what you gonna do?
Well, let me add this before I get to the studio. Let me add that in. As you stated, I have always been independent, So, and it's going into everything that I'm gonna say. So, being an independent artist, money was a situation. Being an artist, you trying to get the funds for studio and this and that, blah blah blah. So, me kind of starting out, not having a lot of money and doing it by myself, my goal was to get in it because back then they was charging by the hour. Like, you met producers that was charging by the hour. It really wasn't no buddy type of thing unless you knew them and they was really cool with you. Like, oh, we'll just charge you this for the whole session. Nah, they were charging you by the hour and they were charging you big money. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to come up with a scheme to where I could do music, just get in there and get out as fast as I can, but be productive and have great quality also. So what I would do is I would just listen to beats. I would get the song format, write it down before I entered the studio. So that actually created my process to how I record, being prepared before I hit the studio. So going to your question, when I get in the studio, I've already got the song down. I've got the hook. I've got what I'm saying, the verse, everything. So all I'm doing is just going in there doing it. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? Like Panic. I just posted something. It took me 30 minutes, literally almost to record Panic. My song Panic, me and you. So that's because I was prepared before I hit the studio and I was out. So it's not more like a money thing now, but it's crazy how a situation can make an artist who they are. And that's just like a quality that I use as an artist.
mm,
I just wanted to get that backstory on why I create how I create. And it actually works for me also now. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
And I don't like going in the studio and just lagging around, sitting around, because me as a person, the more I'm in the studio, it's different with me. The more I'm in the studio, the less work I think I'm going to do, or the less quality type of music that I think I can do, because I'm the type, I got to strike when it's hot.
yeah.
I can't sit around lagging in the studio, you know what I'm saying, unless I have a agenda what I'm trying to do. But I'm not going to the studio just to sit in the studio and compensate. No, I'm going to work. Pretty much. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm going to knock it out, you know what I'm saying, do my best and get out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to waste producers' time or my time not being productive. Cause when you go to work, 9 to 5, you don't go to lollygag, you go to work. While you on that clock, you working. And
Hmm.
then you get off, that's when you have fun, eat, chill, smoke. If you smoke, whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? But while you in here, you gotta work. And that's how it is with the studio. I know that was a long answer, but I just wanted to, you know.
If one that is a studio, you're a studio goer, or you're just not getting into the studio, that's one thing you can take with you. There's a lot of people who the key is to execute as much as you can in a studio time frame. Um, there are a lot of people who can't take care of the time frame, thoroughly. They may get about halfway through the song, and then they run out of time. They got to come back again. Then
Yeah.
they
And
they
I've never
they
been a fan of that.
they
I'm sorry to
they
cut
they
in.
oh no, it's yeah, they do this, they don't finish and they come back, and this is nothing pointing to wrong, y'all. This is not pointing to wrong, but the objective for some is to execute
And
in a
finish a
manner
product. Yeah.
of, in a sense, like in a timely fashion. If you're the person that it takes you time, take your time. I get it. I understand. I don't want to throw away those that have worked with me, and it was that. I mean, a lot of times it's a method that people have that they don't know, that they possessed until they get to the studio. Then it shows up when they get to the studio. Because oh yeah, man, I had the plan. It was planned out, and then when you get in there, that microphone do it to you every time. I mean, it sometimes will bite you before you even start. And and that's the bottom line of understanding, to taking advantage of those independent studios. Because
And can I say something, bro?
yeah.
I've always had the mindset that tomorrow's not promised.
Mm-hmm.
So like me saying I'm gonna come back and finish a song, it ain't promised I'm gonna come back and finish that song or get that song done. You know what I'm saying? Or finish this scene of a movie. Like it ain't promised tomorrow. So you gotta get it while you're in there, I feel. While it's hot. Cause I seen this interview with Prince, and Prince said a lot of his unreleased songs, the songs that was getting leaked, they wasn't the finished versions. They were like you say, go in the studio, I get back to it. I'm gonna lay something, I'm gonna come back to it. So Prince died probably and didn't even get to finish a lot of them, what could have been classics. You got to think of it like that. Like he probably left a lot of great music on the table. Not saying it's bad that the unedited or the half finished, but imagine if he would have took the time to just finish all these incompleted songs. How much his resume would have been even bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I think, the quality. Like, I know a lot of people about the quantity, but what about the quality of the work? You know what I'm saying? Because when you gone, that's what they're going to judge you by, the quality. You could have a lot of quantity, but it could be trash or mediocre or okay. But like, that's what separate the greats from the goods, I feel, the quality.
So this is how I take advantage of a studio session. And this is coming from somebody who learned the art of recording from a standpoint where it was a self-taught in a very, very misunderstood environment of recording that turned to something that was bigger than what I probably would have ever expected. So one of the biggest things, this is something I learned from a session and from sessions and recording sessions, recording with people and recording myself. And biggest advantage I have is I can record myself. That's one of the biggest advantages I've had over the years. So the one thing that I could tell, if somebody was to ask me, what's the biggest thing that you do in a studio session? And this is let's say I'm just making a beat, right? I'm just making an instrumental, whatever. So I could actually start off making this beat, right? And I could literally have let's just say I could literally have just a kick, a rim shot, hi-hat, and a piano, or just something simple like a piano or a pad or something like that, right? It could be something simply melodic, and I can literally have just 8 bars of it, right? In my mind, when I make instrumentals, if I cannot make sense of the instrumental in about 8 bars, the situation of what I feel about the song, I could literally leave it. I mean, just don't touch it anymore, right?
Yeah, I want to give you the artist input too, some help also after you finish what you saying.
I'll explain the reason of if the situation of what I have is in 8 bars, or if I have 4 bars sometimes. If I have 8 bars or just 4 bars of just something melodic, and I can't go any further than that idea, I literally will not salvage any of this. This is the advantage of being a creative that a lot of people do not take advantage of, is saving. The most.
Can I say something? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And as an artist, how you say you want to have that as a producer, the key that I would tell any artist, make sure the first thing you want to come up with is a great hook to a song. If you get the hook down, the verses will come most likely. You know what I'm saying? That's the important part of a song. The hook got to be the best part of the song. So if you think of the hook and nail the hook, get the hook down, the verses will come easier because you would know the concept of the song and you can go with the hook. But I just wanted to add that in because, like how you say you have certain parts of a beat, I think that'll help artists too. That's what helps me. I've always came up with a strong hook first, and then my verses came to the song. So I know a lot of people do verse hook. I think of the song title, what I want the song to be, and think of the verse. Think of the hook. Then I go to the verses. So it's hook, verse, hook, then verse for me. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I just wanted to add that in for the.
Yeah. What's going on? It's your boy Dwan Barino from Not Just Music Podcast. I have a very special offer for you guys via ignored..com. If you're that type of person who loves to drink coffee, but you don't want to always drink coffee, or if you're the type of person that doesn't drink coffee at all, but needs a very much needed push boost in the morning, we have something for you. Morning recovery supplement. It is very, very useful. It is very, very highly effective. Also, if you're the type of person that, you got drunk the night before and you wake up in the morning, you had a hangover, guess what? It works for you too. All right. So at the end of the day, if you head over there to morelabs.com, we have something set up for you already at checkout. All you have to do is enter the code NJMP and you will receive 25% off instantly. How about that? Can you beat that? Head over to morelabs.com, all right? Peace. So even in the South, in those moments where some of y'all literally, and I know these some from a lot of beat makers, y'all are just salvage a beat in a minute. Y'all are literally just delete it. And sometimes that delete button is the enemy to some production that is future down the line that could have been a very huge open door. I'll explain that in a minute, and if not, if I don't get to that this time, I'm gonna get to it next time because it's starting to be a series of talking music, production, things of that nature. But this is one of the biggest things I know y'all do. Y'all literally delete something that 4 bars might have been confusing to you, or that 8 bars or that 16 bars might have been confusing to you just listening to it, just because it took you that long to get to that point, and you delete it. And don't ever do that again.
I'm a big hater on deleting. I hate deleting.
If you take the nature of what a lot of these 8 bar, 4 bar, 16 bar loops y'all are creating, I mean, somebody else could have turned it to gold. And that goes back to some of the other episodes when we talked about getting people in the room. It's important to have people in the room sometimes, in your independent room as well, to have certain ears that hear things a little differently, in the sense of, or an idea that you heard might end up being an idea on somebody else's table. Now, I'm gonna give my next part to what I do as being in music production, because a lot of people don't have this part. Some of y'all are just beat makers, and some of y'all are actual music producers, composers, as I can call. There's a lot more than just the basics of just creating that beat. You take it a step further. You want to see the whole production all the way through. That's the person I am. So I'm gonna give you my next idea and my next opinion of how I do. Q gave a very good example of his opinion on, hook. He'll come up with the hook. He feels getting the hook is easier. Some, really about 75% of y'all do lean on that very, very, very way. And that just is nothing wrong with any one of these ways. Don't ever think like what I'm saying.
Nah, I'm just saying how my way.
No. And I'm not saying, I'm not telling you. I'm speaking to people in general. Like none of y'all. I'm not saying any of your ways are wrong. These are just all opinion based. These are ways to give you motivation, maybe add to your repertoire, maybe add to your, I mean, the more people you work with, the more people you hear their process, the better off you'll be. And this is
This is
what
for
I go
one
for.
struggling with the process and maybe trying to just find another thing they could do to improve.
Yeah.
That's what this really is about for the
Yeah.
ones that struggle writing music. Well, on my end, what I was saying, the ones that struggle creating the
Yeah, and
song.
this and it not
Cause
even just
it ain't easy. It
this
ain't
ain't even just
easy.
for the this ain't even just for the struggles too. This is for everybody. I mean, you could be well alone, you know,
Right.
and you could just grab something from this, grab something from it. You know, it's a lot of info being thrown out. And that's
Right.
then. And my next thing would, and for me, as I was just saying, for QQ and Right the Hook. For me, I'm the type of individual that I kind of write on the go. And for me, sometimes my production leads to an entire song. Most cases. I won't release an instrumental on NJMP beats without it being some type of substance behind it. I've literally wrote something to it and recorded something to it. Most cases, it's just not on there when I put it out. But for the nature of being a production, in production, having an entire song is always a win. Nothing wrong with beat makers, nothing wrong with instrumentalists who put out beats and instrumentals, but there's a lot more that comes with understanding the production side. And I understand those that just want to do beats. If you want to just make beats, just make beats. Nothing wrong with that. But don't look to have so much credit in the end when you're just the beat maker. You know, that's just, remember, you're just the beat maker. Don't take it personal. Yeah. That's part of it, you know, but you know, it's not the biggest piece of the credit. Being the hands-on with that music production part side of it, that will put you more in the driver's seat of being more on the credits, the bigger credit side of things. So, and it's not saying that's why I did it. That's just what I am. I love it. I'm not just, like I said, I don't just make beats. I mean, I do it. I try to do it. I think I've probably touched it all. So with the nature of me probably touching it all, I've learned to just operate in that lane. So for me, let me get to the part of what I was saying. About 27 minutes in. Okay, so for me, I take my music and I'm not the type to write on a sheet of paper or type it out on my phone. So let me tell you my process. My process is very it's mind over the beat. So meaning I say mind over the beat, meaning, as I said, if I felt something, usually I can get a beat cranking within about 15 minutes. I can have literally intro, verse, hook, or intro, hook, verse. Have it laid out to me, that's what I would do. But the crazy part about this is I don't take the nature of writing a hook or a verse. I take and write what comes to me. And meaning writing what comes to me, I'm literally recording it. That's my writing tool for me. So if I record it, that's written for me. So I might do, just like I give you an example, when I did Like a Champion. Like a Champion, tonight I put my suit on, hard bottoms with my shades on. Tonight we about to party. Party people, grab somebody. All that is literally lines I put together. So the first part I had was, tonight I put my suit on. That's all I had. I had that for like 30 seconds. Hard bottoms with my shades on. Then I liked that. I was like, okay, cool, let's keep moving. Tonight we about to party. Party people, grab somebody. All that was literally coming to me as I'm sitting there. So that's my writing tool, is to sit there and hit that record button each time I get a punch. So I'm punching in literally the whole entire time I'm creating. So let me give an example of why I do it that way. One, it saves me a lot of time because I don't have to write it and then try to recite it. Most cases, because it came off the top of my head, is because it's the reason why I can remember it so quickly. So it ain't saying that I remembered it all put together, But for the sake of that, my punches are creating the writing line. So when I come back and just hit play and it's all there, then I can make my changes how I feel. Okay, this part right here didn't make no sense. Okay, this part right here didn't make no sense. Okay, this part right here didn't make no sense. So literally, I took that part and I might say this part is the hook. And the hook might have been part of the verse at first, or halfway through the verse, it might have been the second line of the verse. I don't know what part it might have came from, but just the inspiration of how we all look at the music, this all literally can help somebody.
Can I say one more thing to add to that? Freestyling. That's one method I'm using now. Like, put the beat on, get your phone, get the voice notes, get that voice notes cracking. Use that phone you got. we talk about cell phones. Get that voice notes cracking. Put that beat on, and say whatever is on your mind. Let it flow. You know what I'm saying? And what you can do is, instead of writing it, you can go back and listen to it. So when you go in the studio, you got a visual, you got a, an audio version of how you want to do this, how you want to sing this, how you want to rap it. In this word, you might change this word around. But freestyling, remember, freestyling isn't perfection. That's not the perfect product. Freestyling is just you trying to come up with the finishing product. But you have to freestyle it into a serious manner to where you're trying to come to that conclusion of the song. So that's what I use also. I like, for all the people out there, freestyle on a beat, you know what I'm saying? And save it, record it,
Yep. And this literally is the whole entire point of this pod, was just literally just to bring a whole slew of ideas of what people do in the studio. Sometimes it's like I say, sometimes there are complicated situations. If you got a more simple process, there's always, hey, tap in. I mean, hey, share a video, whatever it takes, whatever you see. There are a lot of times where people don't understand recording the same way everybody else does. So again, you literally come up with your own method. It's not about, the biggest thing and opportunities that you want to take care of, and when you get in the studio, is your time. Just take advantage of the time. It's not saying that, you're in a rush. An hour is a long time. There's a lot you can do in an hour.
Know your strong points and your weaknesses also. Know them,
and if you know them. Just like, and if you know,
like, I'm not a good R&B. I'm not a great, like, I write better hip hop songs than R&B songs. Not saying I can't write R&B, but I can write R&B, but I'm better at writing hip hop songs than R&B. You know what I'm saying? It takes me more time. I'll put it that way. It takes me more time to write R&B than hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's an example. So that R&B song might be something I need to collaborate more, with a songwriter, for example. I'm just giving ideas out there. Like, our ideas, like how to sing this hook. You know what I'm saying? Like, know your strong points and your weaknesses, and don't try to be independent. Like, we talk independent, try to be dependent a little bit, and try to get the help. As the wine preaches all the time, get the help if you need it in certain situations. Like, it won't hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about making a great product at the end of the day. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Putting that hit out there. That's what it's about.
And that will see, these are the things that skyrocket people to their greatness. You continue to find ways to bridge the gap to get to a studio. There are too many ways, and I've talked about it, especially on NJMP beats a lot. It's too many ways to record. It's no excuse. There's no excuse to recording yourself. You're literally on what you have and need to do all the recording that you need. So never put yourself in a position that it's just I'm just, I don't have the process, and I don't have the money to get to the studio. You have all you need with that phone. It's all you need. It's all you need until you get to the studio. And
Facts.
honestly, it teaches you, it could
Facts.
teach you studio etiquette just from recording on your phone, because the process of recording on your phone is the exact same way you record in a studio. The exact same way. The thing is, you just have an engineer. And if it be the case, or it is the case, and you have a computer, let me give you a couple things that you can pull up.
And
There's
this
a
helps the engineer too, though. If you go in there and let them hear your vision, then it helps the engineer. It might help that songwriter that oh, add this in, sing it like this, say it like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So that's important too. I think hearing it is better than just writing it and somebody reading it. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
Having the ear for it,
yeah,
letting them hear your idea instead of, oh, look what I wrote.
yeah,
Like, nah, the wine, check this out. Like me and you, I ain't trying to speak too much on it. Next project, you know what I'm saying? I've been sending audio clips to you.
yep,
Like, bro, that's what I need. Like, yo, okay, not too not a lot of words, like R&B, keep it simple so I can bring out the vocal. You know what I'm saying? Like little stuff like that, communicating, with the producer and stuff like that. That's gonna make it simpler. You feel me?
yeah.
So I know we talking all man, hey, but it's just this music. I love it. I
Yeah,
love the music.
get your ideas together, and take all of the ideas that you can from this. Um, Need help? Get help. Always worthy of help everywhere in this world. There's help everywhere, just or even on the internet. Just look for it. And I told you, it's right around the corner. You just don't know it's there. Just open up your mouth. If not, just get online and find it. There is help. If you don't want to, I know some people it's a pride thing, but don't let the pride fool you and fool yourself out of something great.
Right,
You
right,
could be a fool
right,
just trying to play the pride game. You could have missed out on the
right.
whole situation, and it was already in your face. But again,
Exactly.
there's nothing wrong with asking for help, and those that do and are the help, the ones giving help, continue to give the help in a process to where it's listen, it's a free thing to give help. It's nothing saying giving. See, the thing is, I think a lot of people think that, oh, if I give this away, that somebody will steal it, and nobody can steal what God gave you. God gave you that talent for a reason. What you do with it is what you do with it. If you gave it to somebody else, they're not going to do the same exact thing with it as you. So just always look in the situation and
It's
know,
a win for all of
yeah,
us. Look at it that
know
way.
that
It's
it's
a win for
never,
all of us. You
yeah,
helped write that song. Guess what? You wrote that song. That artist sung that song. You got credits on writing that song. He got credits on singing that song. Y'all both got credits. Whatever you contributed. Like you say, don't get the big head. I don't want to give this away or give that away. That's not the way to be. And I can tell, like the wine saying that, he's a free-hearted man. Like he will tell you everything you should know that he knows. He will help you, in any way that he knows that he's been taught. And that's what I respect about the one. So when he's saying this stuff, he's actually living it. And I just want to say that on wax. Like, he's gonna give you what he got, what he learned. Somebody gave him, he's gonna give to you. I
mm,
know for a fact because
mm.
he's done that with me. So
Hey
yeah,
man, blessings, man. This is like I say, God gives us these abilities for a reason, and we can't die with them. And if we die with them, that's sad, So don't be the
right,
one to die with it, and don't be the one that you could have been your idea, your method could have been handed over to somebody, and they could take it on to be even greater, and it could have been, it could get credited back to your name. So don't ever take what
right,
you do as lightly. Everything ain't money, y'all. Sometimes it's just for the namesake.
right.
Your name's value is way deeper than $1 million if you didn't know. So think about it that way. And at the
Ooh,
end of the day,
ooh, that's a clip right there. That's
if it doesn't
stamp
put you
that.
on your if it doesn't put you on your feet,
uh,
in a situation where it's something that is, as they say, you can give it back to somebody is gratitude. There's a lot of things that you could give in the sense of not just the sake of saying get money for. So at the end of the day, it's all love.
Let me say that one more time. What do I say? Your name is
Your
worth more than a
namesake,
million
yeah,
dollars.
your name is worth more your
Than a
namesake
million
is
dollars
worth
or a dollar.
well more than $1 million, man. And nobody can take. See, this is the thing that I say. If somebody wants to scam somebody out of their name, think about that. Think about how valuable you are. If somebody wants to scam somebody's name just for the sake of $1. So just
I'm gonna
remember.
tell you, look, y'all remember. I'm gonna finish it off like this. And the in your point on that. Remember when Tina Turner went to court and she fought for her name? She was like, "I'm not. You can. He can get everything, but he can't take this name."
Yeah, there you
because
go.
she knows what that name means. So that's exactly what he said.
Yeah,
that name is worth more than $1 million.
There you go. and for those always autism community and those with disabilities and those of the nature of under the spectrum community, love all y'all. Continue to keep your head up. And we will be back till next time on next Thursday. If not, it'll be another random day. All right. Blessings, love. Till next time.